Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's really great to have you with us. Um, Today's session, we're going to be looking at a topic that's very much topical for many organizations right now, and that is AI readiness. More specifically, we're wanting to look at Microsoft Fabric and how it can help organizations prepare their data for what's coming next. And there's a lot of excitement around AI and Copilot style experiences. But as many organizations are starting to realize, simply adopting these tools doesn't give you a golden bullet to business value. So the big challenge often is not the AI model itself, but actually the underlying data models that these AI models rely on. So we have organizations dealing with things like disconnected data estates. They've got complex and manual data pipelines that they're working with, and inconsistent governance and trust in their data. So what we don't have a unified and well-governed and scalable data platform, which AI initiatives then struggle to work with. Before we go any further, though, I'd like to spend a moment just introducing Climber. So Climber is an international data analytics consultancy company that was founded in 2007. We have offices across 4 countries with around 100 data analytics specialists, combining strong business understanding and deep technical expertise. And we work with over 400 customers across a wide range of industries. We focus on helping organizations get real value from their data, whether that's through our consulting services, delivering hundreds of analytics solutions every year, or through our Climber Academy, where we train people to work with their data, build their skills, and become more data literate. We've got over 700 years of combined experience in data analytics, and our focus is very much on building that modern, scalable data platform that organizations can trust and that is ready to support their advanced analytics and, of course, their AI ambitions. Dealing with today's session, what we're going to be looking at is what AI readiness really means in practical terms and some of the challenges that people experience, and how Microsoft Fabric can help with data engineering, analytics, governance, and AI to bring this all into a single unified platform. We want to look at how organizations can move from this fragmented data solutions to a more future-ready architecture that supports AI at scale. And of course, we would like to have some demos to show you this stuff. We don't want to just be talking at you the entire session. Just a few housekeeping points to keep in mind. Everyone is currently on mute to avoid background noise. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to make use of the question panel. So you'll see that there's a question panel at the top of the screen, little question mark there that you can use. We'll leave time at the end of the session to go through any questions that do arise. Then I'd like to just give you a quick introduction to today's speakers. Of course, my name is Scott Davies. I'm a data and business intelligence consultant at Climber, and I specialize in Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. And I'll be hosting today's session, and I'm joined by Gareth Wilson, the BI manager and Microsoft Fabric expert. And Gareth will be leading us through the main part of today's session, taking us through what AI readiness looks like through the Microsoft Fabric lens, and also, of course, sharing these practical insights in how organizations can start prepping their data. And with that said, I'll hand over to Gareth to get us started.
Thank you, Scott. Apologies, the fire alarm keeps going off here. Apparently it's a false alarm, but the fire alarm does keep going off. So if I start making a loud noise, that's not me, that's the fire alarm that's going off. Yes, so today we're going to talk about the fragmented data reality that all business are seeing at the moment, and then go through a brief Fabric overview. I know a lot of people have already using Fabric already, but just the fundamentals of Fabric and why it's important to then use the AI functions. Then I've got a couple of live demos, which may or may not go well. Fingers crossed they do. And we'll look at some agentic AI and agents, and then a Q&A at the end. So many businesses face data challenges. You are not alone. So every business that we go into think that they're miles behind their competitors because their data is in silos all over the place. It's in SharePoint, it's in Excel sheets that people share amongst one another. It's in SQL databases. It's also disparate in that different teams have decided that they're going to buy different tools to help solve their issues. Just give me a second. So there's lots of different systems within the business that are all competing to be the BI tool that fixes everything for everybody. What that means is that decisions feel like guesses. Two people go into a meeting, they both present what they think is a sales figure, for example, and they have different figures. AI is a big thing at the minute, and it sounds promising, but people realize that the data is not in the right position to be able to do any sort of AI, and trust, and importantly, trust the data that the AI is giving them back. So bear with me. So this is what a typical business looks like. There's data being copied all over the place. There's different business teams that are using different data sets, or they're getting the same data set from the same source, but then doing their own calculations. They're mixing it with their own data, and ultimately they're ending up with different numbers than what the rest of the business is. So you've got exposure risks, you've got vendor sprawl there, so different business teams are using different products, so they're all from different vendors, and then when they get to a stage where they think that that's going to support their team going forward, it then gets dumped on IT to then start supporting this product when this product is not aligned with maybe the strategic direction that IT's decided upon. So lots of different sources, lots of different teams, lots of different siloed data sets. So where can Fabric help? It can simplify the data management. So you take all those different fragmented tools and you bring it all into one connected solution. So we'll look at the medallion architecture and how that how that can bring all of that data together in one place and give you the single source of truth, so that you can you give the teams access to that single source of truth, and everybody is singing off the same hymn sheet. So instead of having siloed data decisions, you've got smarter decisions, quicker. You've got that access to insights that everybody's using. And Fabric is fairly low cost compared to all of the different tools that you may be using. So this is where we want to end up. We want to end up in a unified, intelligent data platform where we take all of that enterprise data from sensors, analytical data, operational data, even other data lakes and storage. We bring it into Fabric and we create the unified data foundation where we do data integration. We use the data and engineering aspects of Fabric. So Data Factory has data flows, PySpark notebooks, to be able to transform that data, add value to that data, give the data a unified view. So if some teams may refer to sales as sales, some may refer to it as revenue. What we do is we bring that in and give it a unified view into a data warehouse so that everybody is consuming that same data. And ultimately, what we want to end up with is at the end, we have that unified view for all of our business intelligence. We can do data monitoring and action, so we can do stewardship on that data. So if a piece of data comes across and we think that that looks a little bit suspect, we can actually define data stewards to go away and look at that data, fix it in the source, and then bring it back through into Fabric. AI apps, agents, and models, and we'll touch a lot on that today. Data science and machine learning. So again, the data science and machine learning models are only as good as the data that's being fed to them. They will give you the wrong answer if you've put the wrong data in to start off with. So just a brief overview of Fabric. This has changed a little bit recently, but we've got Data Factory. So Data Factory does all things data, as in movement of data. So ingestion from source through to transformation, and then pushing that into our medallion architecture. So bronze, silver, and gold. We've also got real-time intelligence. So this is where we can have streaming data. So if you wanted real-time data to look at, then you can stream it into Fabric using real-time intelligence. Next is databases. So databases, this used to just be Synapse Lakehouse, Synapse Data Warehouse. It now includes SQL. So you can put SQL databases directly in Fabric as well now. So that's why it's all encompassing in databases. Analytics, which covers machine learning and data science experiments. So once we've got our data into that silver layer and we've refined it, we've made sure the quality is great, then we can use the analytics to put machine learning models over the top of that data. And the beauty of the silver layer is that it should contain all of our history. So the more data that we can feed a machine learning model, the better the results and the better the predictions that that model can give. Last is Power BI. So Power BI is a visualization tool. It's quite 12-year-olds, I think, now, visualization tool. But this is where we still build out our dashboards, and that's where users can interact with the data. Next is Copilot in Fabric. So Copilot can complement Power BI. It can sit at the side of Power BI now, or you can just interact with Copilot and it will go into Fabric. It will look at the data and it will bring the LLM will bring you answers back, but those answers are grounded in your data, which fundamentally is the most important thing.
Sorry, Gareth. So with Copilot as it stands right now, you can actually utilize it whilst you're using the data factory elements, while you're doing the, integrating or working with the databases and so on. So you've got the ability to use Copilot with all these subsections within Fabric. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. So Copilot will sit at the side in a window, and if you're doing a particularly complex PySpark notebook, or if you're doing a particularly complex piece of SQL, then you can utilize Copilot in Fabric to give you hints or even write some of the SQL or the PySpark for you. It still requires a level understanding of that code, and I would strongly advise not to just copy and paste it and not know what it's doing. But yes, it is very good as an assistant, rather than pestering the PySpark guru in the business constantly. You've got a nice little assistant at the side which will continually take all of your questions.
And of course, it's got the context, so you're not having to, you could obviously use a third-party AI system, but you then have to give it that context first before you start asking questions.
Yeah, it's got a context of, as in, it can see what you're doing on the screen, with regards to context of what you're trying to achieve and the business output. Not so much.
Of course.
Fortunately, we've still got to keep humans in the loop for that. But yeah, it's very good at giving you helpful hints as to, this query didn't run. Why didn't it run? You've not put a comma in this position. Just put this comma in, and away you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those parts where you're trying to write a query and you need to just put the right comma in the right place, it helps with that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a big time saver in that respect. Okay, so AI is only as good as the data that it's based on. So this is typical medallion architecture in Fabric. We've got the bronze lakehouse where we're unifying all of that data from all of the different enterprise systems around a business, and that can be anything from HubSpot CRM to SAP. And so we're bringing all our data into one place, and we call that place the bronze lakehouse. So this is just a landing zone, raw data. Then we make sense of that data, so we bring that into the silver lakehouse. And I know silver's spelt wrong there, but we bring it into the silver lakehouse. The silver lakehouse is where we make sense of that data. So we clean the data, we apply data quality rules to that data, we apply business rules to that data, and we really tidy all of that data up and make that into a trusted version of our enterprise from end to end. And then lastly, we get to the gold warehouse. So this is where we're making semantic layers, semantic models over the top of the data. We're optimizing that data for analytics and reporting. So if, for example, in a retailer, maybe you don't want, the vast majority of reporting is not going to be at transactional level. It's happy to be, most reporting it's okay for it to be aggregated to store and day level. So rather than bringing the whole transaction data in and forcing all of our Power BI reports to troll through all of that transactional data, we'll pre-aggregate that data and move it into the gold warehouse. The gold warehouse then can push on further for our AI tools as well. So pretty much one of the same thing. So Fabric, you can immediately bring data in and immediately start having an impact within the business just by using Power BI over the top of your gold layer. But by unifying all that data into a single source of truth, then you get to the fact that now we trust that data. We can trust that we can build some AI agents over the top of that data, and that they will give the right answers back. So whatever user's using them, they'll get the right answer back. So AI in Fabric. So the full spectrum of AI in Fabric, we've got data preparation. So we can actually do calls to the Azure OpenAI models whilst we're loading the data. So a row by row basis, we can actually ask questions to an LLM to give context or summarization of data as it's being loaded, and then output that into a table ready for more analytics. We've got cross workload Copilot assistance. So we'll touch on this today, where we can go to we can create different agents, and then we can use Copilot to talk to all of those different agents. Those agents are specialists in their field, as it were. But Copilot brings that coherent view back by asking those questions and then bringing those answers together. We got low code functions, so we'll do this next. So summarization, translation of text, and sentiment analysis as the data is being loaded in. We've got the AI agents, so we can build specific AI agents that are really good, that have got access to small subsets of data, but because of that, they're really good at being pre-prompted to be a specialist in stock or purchasing or sales, for example. We've got some pre-built models, so we'll touch on some of the pre-built stuff that comes out. But yeah, you've got translator, you've got OCR, you've got facial recognition, so you can access all of these different AI aspects of Azure directly in Fabric. And then model to context protocol. So model context protocol is a way for these different LLM systems to be able to communicate with one another. So we call it MTP, but it means you're not completely locked into into one vendor. You can actually use different LLMs, and they will all talk to each other quite easily. So AI for data prep. So we can transform and enrich data with low-code functions. So there's got a little bit of an example there, but I'll jump into the demo in a second. But everybody's got access to this if they've got access to be able to create notebooks in Fabric. It harnesses the LLMs. So I'm sure everybody knows Microsoft signed a big contract with OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT. So a lot of the models that you're using inside all of Microsoft's stack is, in fact, a copy of ChatGPT. So you can see here, they are doing some sentiment analysis on some data, but I will jump into a demo of that in a second. These out-of-the-box functions, they can categorize data, they can detect sentiment, they can answer a custom prompt, which is quite powerful, and we'll look at that in a second. Extract specific entities out of the data, translate text, calculate similarity, fixing grammar, anything that you want to ask, anything that you would normally ask an LLM to do, you can get the LLM to do it as the data is being loaded on a row by row basis. That's what makes it so powerful. So bear with me, and hopefully this will go okay. So hopefully you can see my screen there.
Yeah, that's visible.
Yep. So here we have a Fabric workspace. We've just called it Climber Stores Company. But here you can see that we've got our medallion architecture. So bronze, where we're loading the raw data; silver, where we're making sense of that data and we're adding our business logic; gold, where we've got the data ready for analytics. And then what we've done is we've actually created this another layer called platinum. So platinum is a refined area specifically for AI, and that doesn't mean we've applied further data quality or anything like that, because we've got all that in gold. What it means is may have aggregated that data further or only brought back a subset of that data, because we want these models to be fast and accurate. So in order for that to happen, in order for them to be fast, the agents shouldn't have too much work to do when you're asking that question. But also, for example, if in the gold layer you want to do 3-year reporting, when you're asking the model, the AI agents, you probably don't want to go back 3 years. You probably want to say, okay, I only want to see year to date or something like that. So we keep the data set small in platinum, because as small as we possibly can in platinum, so we're not using too much compute cost when people are constantly asking questions of the AI. So if I go into platinum and go into notebooks and go into the AI functions notebook, and so thankfully it did load. So you'll see here, we've got access in our notebook, we've got access to platinum, and we can see all of the different tables that we've put into the platinum layer. Here we've done a read table of the customer feedback table. So you can see for lots of different products, we've got customer ratings, so a 5-star rating and then a comment as to what the customer thought about that product. Then what we can do is we can move on to the sentiment analysis. So we can call the AI functions, and then we can just use this very simple and believe you me, after doing a data science degree, this is far easier than it used to be. There used to be pages and pages of code to do exactly the same thing. So now we just have a simple statement, is just analyze the sentiment. We give it an input column and then tell it to output the sentiment into an output column. And you'll see here, it's given pretty accurate answers. I'd say spot on answers that this is either a positive or a negative sentiment. So too expensive, fit for purpose, perfect fit for purpose, etc. So,
Gareth, I mean, what's wonderful about this is, I mean, this is going to handle whatever comment comes from the client. You don't have to set up a sort of a lookup table or anything like that based on the comment, because of course you just have no idea what comments might come through. So this is going to dynamically handle whatever comments the customer might make.
Absolutely, yeah. So here it's a very cleansed customer comment, because it's some sample data that we've got. But yes, this could be a full paragraph that the users made a complaint about, or a full paragraph where the customer's been very positive, and the LLM will look at that whole paragraph and then make a sentiment analysis based on that whole paragraph. So yeah, you don't have to know what kind of comments are going to come in. You don't have to restrain the customers to a drop-down menu saying was it good, bad, or in between. You can give them free rein to add their comment and add whatever they want in that comment, and the LLM will still be able to do the sentiment analysis on that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then
Gareth, we just seem to have lost Gareth there for a second. Oh, Gareth, are you back? All right, hopefully we'll get Gareth back in a moment. Some little technical gremlins here. Gareth, we're currently not hearing you. Don't know if you can hear me speaking there. Can we hear something?
Can you
Gareth?
hear me okay now?
Yeah, you seem to be back. Sorry, we lost you for a moment.
Sorry. Yes, I think my laptop decided to have a mid-afternoon break at that point.
Okay, well, let's see if that,
Yeah.
you seem to be a bit in and out, but let's see if that works now.
Okay. So that's the sentiment analysis. This one we're using the classify function. So you can see here we're using Spark AI function, and then we're using AI classify. So what we're saying is, based on the subcategory, is this item a luxury, a necessity, or a discretionary purchase? And the AI does a very good job of doing that classification. You'll see here that I had to change some of the wording. So whilst we're doing calls to the AI, it's still within constraints in Microsoft put constraints on there, and it did recognize as mature as potentially being X-rated. So what we've had to do is change mature to aged, and then you'll see that there that mature trader has been changed to age, and then it will do the classification. So anything that we're still constrained. There is still, limits on things that we can do with the AI, as there is with, all the other LLMs that we've got access to, ChatGPT, Claude, etc.
Wow, that seems very sensitive to classify mature as being.
No, indeed, yes, yes, yes.
Anyway.
Lastly, we've got the AI generate response. So this is very powerful because it allows us to pass a prompt across. So here we're passing this prompt that says assess whether this transaction looks unusual, how to flag what to look for if it's for an unusual transaction, and then some rule sets to have a look at. It then gives me an output column called alert. So what you can see is for each transaction that's coming in, I've now got this alert, and it's giving me the suspicious activity alert, and it's saying why it thinks that is potentially a suspicious transaction. So this one, the sales amount is lower than cost. That's probably due to promotional activities to try and clear the stock through. So we can keep tweaking this prompt until it is alerting us on the transactions that we do suspect are suspicious activity.
So this is almost like a mini agent of sorts, because you're giving it instructions on the flies.
Indeed, and
yeah.
In a past life, there was people made a lot of money selling loss prevention softwares that costs a lot of money just to do that. So within Fabric, we can just do that on the fly as it comes in. So back to the slideshow. So they're the different AI functions as we're loading data. Then we can look at Copilot in Fabric. So semantic models are key for the accurate AI. So in Fabric, we have to we build the semantic models over the top of our warehouse, and then the semantic models give Power BI and the AI agents context as to what are the relationships between my data, how should I calculate things. We can add measures in here. So if sales amount, for example, when we're calculating sales, we need to remove training transactions, for example. We can do that inside the sales measure, and then Power BI and the AI will use the sales measure and automatically remove the training transactions. So the semantic models are absolutely key to get in fast, quick, accurate answers, but also knowing that your AI agents are using the same data sets that's being presented to the end users in Power BI as well.
Just a quick mention, Gareth, we've got about 10 minutes left, so just a time check there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
fly through this then. Yeah. So we can use the semantic models, and then once we've got the semantic models in place, we can use Copilot to start building things in Power BI itself. So I'll quickly run to this. So you can see here, I've got my models. So I've created different models. So models specific for pricing, purchasing, stock, and then an overall one called Copilot. And if I go into reports and then my Copilot report, you'll see that this is just a blank report at the moment. If I click edit, you'll see that this is the normal Power BI interface, and I can start building a Power BI dashboard here if I wanted to, but I can also click on this Copilot button. And then I can say, I can ask it a question like, build a dashboard that shows me sales by product. And then Copilot will work in the background. It'll do a call onto that semantic model. It'll get what the relationships are between the data. It will also look at the measures. So you can see inside measures, I've got sales amount as a measure. So it'll use sales amount as a measure. And what it'll do is it'll go away and then build me a dashboard.
Wow, so that's actually just like built an entire report page in what, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
You would have had to, someone would have probably taken 15, 20 minutes to put that together if it was done by a human.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing there is, Scott, I don't think it's a replacement for a human building a dashboard. I think it's fantastic. If you're going into a meeting and you want to see sales on meat and fish, for example, and you want to take that dashboard into a meeting, then fantastic. It will build you a dashboard to do that visualization. What it won't do is know the context of what's your high level KPIs. What do you want to see first? What do you want people to drill down into? But you can use it as a great starting place to start building a dashboard. Or if you want, again, if you just want to build something on the fly really quickly, then Copilot is there. So I'm unfortunately not going to be able to spend lots of time with that because we've certainly enjoyed playing with that quite a bit.
Next generation is.
So we've done the demo. So next is extending Fabric with agentic AI. So we can build agentic systems. So you saw there that I had different models, different semantic models that I had built. We can use Fabric to build those AI agents. They're called data agents in Fabric. They're fairly quick to set up. But again, it's back to the fundamental of you must get that semantic model right. That data quality has got to be there. That relationship has got to be there. The model has got to be 100% before you can trust what the data agent's going to give answers that they're going to give back to you. So Fabric makes it easy to create models. If you want to go that extra step, then there is the Azure AI Foundry, where you can pick from a multitude of different models. You can do RAG generation. You can do fine tuning training on different models. You can pick a specific LLM from a whole host of LLMs, including all the ChatGPT models. So some LLMs are trained to be better at various different jobs than others, but that's what, Fabric makes it really simple to create out of the box stuff, but you can really go to town with the AI Foundry as well. So this is where we're aiming for. We've taken our data, we've got that unified data foundation, the data quality is there, we're really happy with it. So now we can start using the AI apps, the agents, and the data science and machine learning aspects of Fabric as well. So building AI ready data in Copilot. Copilot allows you to prep the data. So you can prep the data, and we'll look at that in the agents in a second. But let's get into the demo before I run out of time.
So just while you open this up, the semantic models you built that you showed a second ago, where you have multiple different semantic models, you basically kind of customize each semantic model to look at different aspects of the data. Is that right?
Indeed, yes. So inside a semantic, so we have our overall Platinum lakehouse here, but inside the semantic models themselves, if I go into the pricing one, for example, the pricing semantic model only has access to competitor pricing and the products. So it means that when we're asking questions of the pricing agent, it's not got much to look at. It's not got much to, there's less chance of it going wrong because it's not overly complicated and it's an expert in its field. We can fine tune the prompt that we're giving to the pricing agent to make sure that it's giving us the answers that we want concisely and importantly with lower compute than it would be to try and create an agent over our entire enterprise data.
Absolutely. Yep.
So there we have the pricing model, and then here we have the AI agents. So you can see here I've got my pricing agent. So I've given it access to the Copilot pricing semantic model. I've given it access to the product and the competitor pricing table, and then I've given it some instructions. So these instructions are telling the pricing agent, so it's a pre-prompt. Every time that we ask a question of the semantic model, every time we ask questions on the semantic model, this is passed to the LLM each time. So this is to try and make sure that the answers that the LLM gives us are always consistent. What we can do is look at different. We can test the model, so we can test the responses here. So you can see here, I pre-asked the question: what are our where are we least competitive? The product is laundry detergent, and we are 5.2% more expensive than competitor one. So we can keep testing and testing and testing the responses until we're happy that the responses are consistent, and we're happy with the format that the responses are coming back in. Then we can click publish, and that'll publish the model available for everybody to be able to use. So if I go into Copilot now, what we can do is, you'll see in our 365 Copilot, you've got new chat, and then in the agents section, you see that we've got these different agents that we've created. If I click on all agents, you'll see that we've got a sales agent, pricing agent, purchase agent, and stock agent available to us. So in the chat, I can say, what is our best selling product year to date? And then I can ask the sales agent. So I can ask the sales agent, what is the best selling product year to date? So what Copilot will then do is it will go off to the sales agent. The sales agent will look into that semantic model. It will decide what is the best selling product year to date, and then it will pass that answer back using the MCP protocol to the overall Copilot chat. So the overall Copilot chat will keep the context of our conversation going, whereas the sales agent will only give us the answer to that one question.
And the beauty of this solution you're just presenting now is that anybody who has access to that workspace in which you've published that agent to would be able to ask these questions, right? So they can just come in here in a meeting and ask a specific question that's arisen during the meeting itself.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, which is really brilliant. So what this means is that the people using the reports, they don't need to have all of their questions anticipated by the report builder. You can actually use the Copilot to answer the questions that come up as they come to mind.
Absolutely, yeah. So for some reason the connectivity is down at the minute, but here in True Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. You can see here I've asked what is the best selling product year to date to the sales agent, and it's given me the answer back. So laundry detergent 3559 is the highest one in sales, and then pork sausages in units sold. What I can then do is I can say, what does my stock look like for this product? And I've asked that question to the stock agent. So the stock agent is telling me, okay, the best-selling for the best-selling product, this is what my stock levels look like. So what does this mean? Overall availability is good. And then you can say, recommend store-to-store transfers from high stock stores to low stores. And I ask that of the stock agent again. So it'll then look at the store stock level. It's looked at the store stock level. It's recognized a primary donor because this is overstocked. It's got 87 units. And these stores have got low stock, which is 10 units. So then it's given me the store-to-store transfers, transfer 15 units from this store into these 3 stores as well. Then I moved on to how many units of this product do we have on back order. So then I've asked the purchasing agent, what have we got on back order? And from the purchasing agent, he can look through all the POs and see how many units we have of this product on the back order. So this is quantity not yet delivered, but assuming to be delivered soon. Then with such strong sales, what does a 1% price increase look like for this product? It'll then give me what it thinks, what's the baseline year to date, what the revenue increase would be from a 1% price increase. And then it'll give me context and advice on whether you should do the 1% uplift based on the data that we've got from the different agents. And then I've asked the sales agent, gone back to the sales agent again and said, what about margin impact? And so then it's given me what the incremental revenue and gross margin, incremental gross profit would be based on different price increases.
And this is phenomenal because this has been done. I mean, this didn't take a long time to set up. It wasn't super complex. You didn't have to write sophisticated code or anything like that. And it's giving you all this kind of not only the numbers, but also context and suggestions and so on. So this is what, as you say, in years gone by, you'd have had to spend weeks or months building fancy, AR models and so on. You've done in way less time.
Absolutely, yeah. So the agents are the absolute fundamental thing that we need to get right is the models themselves and the data that's feeding those models. When it's like building a house, right? So once the foundations are in place, it's pretty easy to put the roof on. If the foundations aren't great, then once you start trying to put the roof on, you'll realize that things aren't lined up, things aren't level, and you can't get the roof on properly because you've not built those foundations correctly.
It's the good old garbage in, garbage out one, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah. So unfortunately, I cannot get the. Just going to try again. If you want to talk through anything, Scott, while I just try and get this working.
Yeah. So I think the arrival of Copilot in Microsoft Fabric is is a real fundamental change in the way we approach data analytics, and I think it's going to make a big difference. It's going to democratize the production of data analytics because people with relatively low technical abilities are now able to do very sophisticated things, and I think that's a massive change. Just a couple of things to point out. The Copilot feature does need to be activated in Fabric for it to be able to be used, and it is generally available at present. Something also to bear in mind is that the Copilot, the usage of Copilot will use some of the capacity units. So of course you'll have a particular Fabric SKU or capacity, and you have a finite number of capacity units that will be available to you within that capacity. So when you make use of Copilot, be aware that it will utilize some of that capacity. And obviously if you're on a smaller SKU, then just be careful that you don't kind of blow out your capacity by making use of Copilot. I mean, you can make use of a lot of questions, but obviously it depends how sophisticated the questions are. And to Garrett's point earlier, this is why it's very important to ensure that your semantic model that your agents are built on and so on is optimized so that you don't end up using more capacity units than is absolutely necessary.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, so yeah, it is working now. I've managed to get it connected, so you can see I've asked what is the best-selling product year to date. I've got the same product, and then what's the margin for that product. I can then go and say I can ask a question like, what is the strongest age bracket for this product? Because we have some demographic information in the customer table. So it really, it's got quite a wow factor. It certainly wowed us here at Climber because it feels more like we've gone from the dashboarding world, which is very, I think, dashboard is, if you'd say dashboard's 3D compared to using an Excel spreadsheet, this feels like we've gone into a 4D world where not in a dashboard you can make selections and you can dig into the data and you can try and find the answer to your question, whereas now we're using these agentic agents. We can ask any question that comes to mind, anything that we want to dive into, and the agent will go away and find the answer for you. So it's yeah, I think it's a fundamental shift and a big change in the way that we're going to interact with our data going forward.
Yeah.
So you can see there the sales agent's gone and looked for the strongest age bracket for laundry detergent, and it's saying customers in their 20 are the strongest age bracket, and we can continually keep asking it questions. So I could keep, ask where should I concentrate my marketing spend, for example, and if we had marketing data across different social media platforms, it would tell me where I should spend it and who the target demographic should be, based on the information that's got available to it in that semantic model.
Yeah, this is extraordinary. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay. That's really great.
So, for some reason, the PowerPoint has stopped. Hopefully you can see that now.
There we go. Yeah, we can see that. Right, so just having a look, there are currently no questions that have been asked. So if anybody does have any questions that they would like to ask on what was presented, please feel free to use the questions section at the top right of your screen. You'll see the little speech bubble with a question mark in it. Feel free to pose any questions that anybody has. All right. So Gareth, maybe while we wait, just a question or two. You've obviously used this a lot for today's thing, and obviously in more general for when you've been working with Fabric. What is your sort of how useful are you finding it for your day-to-day work? Do you make use of it? What's your experience been like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, we've lost you again.
No. Let me turn my camera off. Is that any better with the camera off?
Yeah, there we go. We seem to have you back again.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think my Wi-Fi is limited here, so doing a webinar, having my camera on, and doing a PowerPoint presentation, it's too much for it.
Yeah. You're coming and going a little bit.
Copilot is great inside Fabric, and it's helpful to give you those hints. As I say, I wouldn't use it for your full PySpark notebooks. You need to have an understanding of what's happening inside those notebooks, but it's a fantastic assistant for anything that you're working on that you're finding complex or struggling to get working. I think that although it has the wow factor, the Copilot building dashboards is not quite there yet, in my own honest opinion. I think it's going to get there. It's going to get better, but I still don't think you can beat a Power BI developer having that business context when he's building those dashboards.
Yeah.
The agentic AI is just wow. It really is the next full step in being able to interact with your data. I think personally, I think you still need visualizations. I don't think you'll get away. I don't think it's a dashboard killer. I think people will still need visualizations to be able to interpret data. So the agents are relying on the question that you want to ask, whereas a dashboard can surface things that you never thought to ask. So I think there's a place for both.
Absolutely. There's a question that's been posed. GDPR is very important with data sharing. We would need to ensure users lockdown or users' rights well controlled to ensure security of our data that is not exposed both internally and externally. So yeah, any comments on that?
Yeah, as with all things Fabric, it's all locked into Entra. For those of us that are old enough, Active Directory. So yeah, you can tailor the permissions. You can use Entra groups to give permissions to only certain people, or you can just use the Power BI workspaces and the different permission levels that you give in there to give access to different agents or different dashboards or different even lake houses. So in Fabric itself, there's a whole bunch of different levels of security that we can add. So we can go for what's called RLS, row level security. So we can say that only certain people have access to certain rows of data. But we can also do column level security, so only certain people can see certain columns of data as well. So it can get complex, but the complexity is because it gives you so much freedom in being able to really lock down the specific aspects that you want people to have access to.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to mention is that when you do activate Power BI, you have the ability to lock it down to specific geographic regions as well. So you can prevent your data from, crossing geographic boundaries and so on if you wish. So that's there as well for GDP. If there's stuff that's particularly sensitive and shouldn't leave the geographic area.
Indeed, yes, you can force it to, so the data will never leave. So if your Power BI instance, your tenant exists in UK South, you can force it so that your data never leaves the UK South data center. It does mean that sometimes you're behind the curve with access to new features, because the new features are obviously launched in the US before they're launched anywhere else. But it does give you that added security that your data is not leaving the UK.
Super. Okay, I think there are no other questions at the moment, so I think we already have gone over time by several minutes, so apologies to everyone for that, but hopefully you got some value out of today's session. We will be sending out the recording of the session, so if you want to share it with others or watch it again, that'll be coming through on email shortly. Also, just to mention that we'll be holding a introduction to Power BI training session. It's a free session on the 21st of May. That will be included in the email that you'll be getting from us post this event. So look out for that if you are interested, or if one of your colleagues is interested in learning a bit about using Power BI, feel free to sign up for that. All right, everybody, hopefully that was a helpful session, a little bit of an introduction to using Copilot within Fabric. And we look forward to seeing you at one of our future sessions coming up in the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks all. Thank you.